Avengers Endgame, conclusion to the Infinity Saga, the biggest team up movie perhaps in history, starring, well, everyone. It would take me around 5 minutes to list the cast, probably. Story begins shortly after Infinity War's shocking ending and Thanos snapping his fingers to erase half of all sentient beings in the universe. The remaining Avengers, bolstered by Carol Danvers, gather together to regroup and lick their wounds. And after managing to track down Thanos, they pin him down in an attempt to recover the stones and bring all the dead people back. But of course, they find out that the stones have been destroyed, which leads to then to that amazing, like 5 years later, black screen and the biggest time skip in a Marvel movie thus far. After which, suddenly a glimmer of hope appears with Ant-Man getting out of the quantum realm. That's as much as I'm saying. There were some spoilers, and there will be more to follow. But hey, the movie has been out for more than 2 years, and if you wanted to, you had your chance to see it by now. I'll mostly try to focus on what I think about it all. So first of all, as a cinematic experience, it was possibly the best one I ever had. Being there in a packed movie theater, and not packed with random people, but with folks as excited as I was to see the conclusion of the saga. People laughing, crying, gasping loudly at scenes. The excitement was palpable. It was utterly amazing, almost like being at a sports event or a live concert. I think it's going to be difficult to like ever top that in this regard. I mean, I've even read some older people say on the internet that they remember going to the original Star Wars saga in movie theaters, and this one was better. And part of why the film worked this well as an experience are the things it does as a film. Because apart from managing to tell a coherent, engaging story of its own to kind of wrap things and conclude the saga, it is also this amazing victory lap that goes back and references and calls back all these various scenes and moments from pretty much every single movie that came before. I mean, the most obvious examples being the whole Battle of New York thing, the the Morag planet, and seeing Peter Quill from the outside without the music, the Captain America elevator scene. But there's many more, even the small moments like Black Panther calling Hawkeye by his first name, which was a lovely callback to the airport scene in Civil War, or the final scene of Captain America using the same music that was used in Winter Soldier before. And then on top of that, we have a bunch of stuff that is pure payoff that we've been waiting for such a long time. Particularly Captain America comes to mind. His moments, him lifting Mjolnir, Avengers Assemble, that shot right before the portal scene with him standing tall alone against the entire army. I also think that the movie managed to smuggle a very poignant character arc for Thor, which many people initially just took at face value and laughed at the comedy aspect of Fat Thor, who keeps drinking and eating. But since then, I thought about it quite a bit and appreciated the way it actually touches on depression and finding back your worth again. Kind of pointing out that this can happen to everyone. That this huge superhero, the strongest Avenger, is kind of a mess in this, but he manages to find his way back with the help of his friends. There's a lot more I could talk about here, but I don't know if there's really a sense in doing so. The point that I'm trying to make is that yes, I am a fan, so naturally I will respond to this film in a much more positive way than a random dispassionate viewer. But even taking that into account and breaking down Endgame as a film, which is what I like doing, I still think it's very good. And a lot of people said that, oh, it's fine, but Infinity War is better as a single film. It's more tight, it's more gripping, it has better story, and so on. And yes, that's kind of true, but you have to remember that Endgame is not supposed to be just a standalone film and shouldn't be judged as such. It is very much meant to be the conclusion to like a decade-long saga with multiple characters and arcs and plot lines. And at that, it succeeds spectacularly, which is all the more impressive that no other film in history had to do that. I mean, the only like vaguely similar situation, I've been thinking about it, the only vaguely similar situation that comes to mind is the Harry Potter series, where the final movie had to cap off a series of 8 films. But even that is not like a fair comparison because the Harry Potter franchise was much more focused and narrow in terms of the storylines. And also the end result of the final couple of movies is also questionable, at least in my opinion. So that makes Endgame all the more impressive. It attempted to do something that has not been done before, and it succeeded. And is it flawless? Of course not. There are some pacing issues in the middle. The infamous "she's not alone" scene is extremely awkward and artificial. There's a bunch of other small criticisms that I think are absolutely fair. But on the whole, I loved Endgame for what it was, and I will forever cherish it for sticking the landing on years of storytelling and for giving me such an amazing memory of seeing it opening night in a movie theater with all my friends and other fans.